Good morning. It's good to be with you, and I thank the organizers for allowing me to speak just a few minutes today about a subject that I talk at around the world and was recently in Europe for 6 weeks. And this subject came up many times, and that is the idea of readiness. And I want to talk first at a strategic level, and then we'll talk a little bit about personal readiness. Strategically, nations have to balance budgets and they have to think about how much they're spending on fight tonight and how much they're talking about fighting in the future and future readiness. Mr. Putin and other people around the world have now convinced us that we have to get really serious about our ability of current readiness or fight tonight readiness. This is not a happy subject for things like parliaments and congresses, because spending money on things like exercises, training, daily use ammunition and things, these don't capture the attention of taxpayers and things. They want that long-term readiness where there's a big factory building a tank, a ship, or an airplane. And so you as leaders are going to have to fight to get the attention of your services and your organizations in order to fight and get your troops what they need to be ready to fight tonight. And this takes not only effort, but it's just not cheap to do exercises and such. Long-term readiness, your job there is to identify to your bosses, your organizations, what your kit and what your capability is going to look like in 5, 10, 15 years, so that together you can plan for the needs of the long time capability of your unit well beyond your years. And we used to have a sort of a normal battle rhythm of how this balances out, what we spend on current readiness versus long time readiness. I think you have to have some personal introspection and talk it over with your leaders about, are you ready tonight for what Mr. Putin has done to Georgia, to Ukraine, to Moldova? Are you ready for that kind of an issue right off the bat? And I think that we'll all be in a better place when we think about it. I want to also just say that I think that this conundrum, this ruthless prioritization of readiness applies to you personally, you and your airmen, or if you're in a joint unit, your soldiers, sailors, airmen, and Marines. Are you and is your unit ready to fight tonight? This is not an easy thing. Physical readiness, mental readiness, and then moral or spiritual readiness, whatever it is that motivates you in this area, you need to sit down and look at yourself and those that you lead. Have we addressed our physical capabilities? We hear possibilities that our PT test in the Air Force is going to get more stringent. Should we be preparing today to meet those new requirements? And those new requirements are being built because we see a military and an Air Force that's got to be physically ready with stamina and determination to get the job done. And then long-term readiness. Are we investing in our airmen? Are we investing in ourselves when it comes to things like education? Are we preparing our families for possible deployments? You don't want to be sitting in Saudi Arabia at Prince Sultan Air Base and worried about how your car payment is going to get made back at home. So that preparation for long-term tasking, getting the unit ready should it be called on to go downrange or do what it needs to do. These are things we need to look at. To sign off, let me just thank you for inviting me today and talk about a subject that is really important to us. As our organizations, we have to make those tough decisions to invest in our current readiness, the exercising, the ammunition, the training, physical training. We have to be ready. And then we have to look at what is it going to take for our organizations to function in the future with readiness. And as we closed with, personally, are we ready? Are we preparing ourselves and those we lead to be able to fight tonight if we have to? And for us and our families to be ready for long term deployments and so forth. Thank you again for listening.